Don't know which chat to be in. That's the biggest problem. Like restream chat is a thing, but I don't need the preview. Oh, that's cool. It's just gonna say restream at the top of my screen. Nice. Whatever. Whatever.
Thanks, bro.
I had a chat goal today, and I can't remember what it was going to be. It was really funny. Oh, yeah. No, I remember. It's not funny at all. I'm just not even going to do it. It's fine. I was going to make the kid draw. Do some child labor. It would be great. I actually don't know how that would work. Like, I can't make him do it. You guys don't know if it's actually a kid drawing. I think that's against YouTube's terms of service anyways. So, is him drawing on the screen count as kid? These are questions. Doesn't matter. One super chat, $20. I will draw something. I wanted to do like, I wanted to go back to doing the God, my brain is not here. I need to sleep more. I need to get more sleep. That would be great. I want to go back to being able to do stuff like we did on Twitch. But yeah, I don't know what it would be. So whatever. Welcome in, everybody. I don't know which chat to be in, so we'll just hang out in all of them, I guess. No name, welcome in. I'm gonna pop this chat out. I'll pop out the YouTube chat because it's the hardest to see. Twitch, I think we'll get audio cues if weird stuff happens there, so we'll do that. Where's my restream chat? Where done did the restream go? Chat. There we go. Da, 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 da. I guess I could completely ignore and just go to Twitch chat. That would make sense too. But, whatever. We're going to draw some rugbies. It's the viewer suggestion today, so we're going to draw some stuff. It's going to be fun, I hope. It's Friday. We made it through another week. Let's start with the rugby. How are you doing, Corvus? How are you doing, Bri?
I'm alright.
I feel like drawing a melty rugby today. Boing. It snowed a little bit. I don't like it. I like snow, but when it happens here, it's dangerous.
Because people are not used to it.
Yeah. One of my favorite Idaho moments is a guy that I knew that lived in McCall, which is like kind of just in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
But he was standing behind me complaining about how people didn't know how to drive in the snow, and just kind of generally bitching about it, just nonchalantly. Didn't really matter. It wasn't like super upset or anything, just complaining. And then immediately follows up with a story about how it got snowy and he drove his car into a ditch. I was just like, whatever, man. That's Idaho for you. Everybody knows how to drive in the snow because it snows all the time, but it still sucks. Was there a post to submit character ideas? There was on Monday. We do it every Monday. If you missed that, you're welcome to post one here in the chat. That's totally fine. And I'll add it to the list for you. And then on Monday, we'll have a new list up. So, Jordan, welcome in. Welcome in.
So only one suggestion per viewer.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. Thank you, Corvus. One suggestion per week. And then we change the list every week. So every week you can suggest a new one, or the same one, what have you.
Just again for a reminder, because I think some people sometimes thought maybe each stream had a different list. So
yeah, and
that's
fair.
not the case.
That is fair.
No, Bri, you cannot. Denied.
Can I post some mimic suggestion? Yeah, those you can post it, but it won't happen.
We'll just like ignore you.
A mummy cheerleader is. I suggest. I'll check. I will check. I used to get really salty about people asking me, like, is my thing on the list? Because it's like, then I have to stop and I have to go look. I have to look for, because I take the names off, so I don't know whose they are. No. People used to do it all the time. They jump into chat and be like, "Is this on the list?" It's like, did you put it on the submission? The fortune teller, octopus, knoll, jellyfish, minotaur. Well, no, it's not. Mummy cheerleader. It's going on the list. Did it get submitted after Wednesday? Touche, Jordan. Touche. Can I post a registered trademark violation? That breaks the second rules. So yes, you can submit it, but it won't get drawn. No fan art. No fan art, no mimics. That was no trouble. I apologize. No, it's fine. It's just, it used to be a reoccurring thing. But it's good to check sometimes. Most of the times, as long as it's on the list before the stream on Wednesday, then you should be good. But yeah, every Monday, new lists.
Or Tuesday if Rick is late with it.
Yeah, that has happened. That has happened. It is my fault sometimes. I stayed up late last night because while I was playtesting my game, I realized like the attack range wasn't working, and I was really upset because I'm like, I have these characters and they're supposed to like be able to attack, and I'm like, yeah, what if I just make the collider bigger so they can hit more things? But I was noticing that like while this worked, this didn't, and I'm like, it's still hitting the giant crab. Like the crab is there. Why is crab no take damage? Turns out this collider wasn't working. The crabs were taking damage when they bumped into the player. So I spent like 3 or 4 hours fixing that. So yeah, I had like reverse Mario rules going on. It was kind of interesting. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff about like game design and game functionality, which is great. But I'm also making myself tired. Probably not the best idea. All right, let's roll some dice. Let's have some fun. Where are my dice? Yeah, there.
I devoured them.
Draco Lichborn. Okay, so an undead dragonborn. Draco Lichborn, wild magic. Is on the list. I rolled higher than the list. There we go. That is a comment. That is not a suggestion. I should have read that more carefully this week. The dice gods are fickle and like to torture me. 15. I rolled a 15, which is a mummy cheerleader. So we're gonna start with Jordan's suggestion. So it's a good thing you called me out on it not being on the list. I was watching a walkthrough of Poppy's Playtime when I saw the notification for the stream. I immediately came here and enjoyed the interactions. Good. I like having you in chat. It works out. Okay. Cheerleader mummy, huh? Cheerleader mummy. Mummy's got to be either a little crooked or like kind of droopy. Because they just, like, we don't got enough. Ain't got enough meat. Mummies are basically zombies, right? Like, except that I just made the video about that a while ago. Why am I giving her ill ears?
You said they were more like vampires, but
I think they like. It's weird because yeah, they're around because of a curse, which makes them technically not zombies. But like, it's whether
like
or not
their
they
own
have...
curse, not say curse put on them.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the weird distinction about it, right? Like you're cursing yourself to be a mummy, and it's whether or not you have like total control of it. Because there are some mummies, like there's the mummy lords, right, that control other mummies and zombies and skeletons that are just kind of liches. But then there's mummies that are essentially like cursed to a location as a means of living longer. And that could be maybe not intentional, you know? Like someone could put a mummy somewhere to protect a building or a place.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing, the Dracoliches don't get to be liches by themselves, even if they have some of the most broken magic users in D&D lore. They can only be made. So Dracoliches may be mummy dragons. It's all very ethereal. It could all be the same. Druid, welcome in.
Hi.
It's like you have like mummy pharaohs who are just people who've died and been mummified and came back.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have like Aurorian mummies who are people who have done it to themselves and die, but like almost immediately reanimate due to sheer force of will.
I saw a little like Reddit post that was vampires don't live in castles. Dracula lived in castles because he was a count. He was a count first and just happened to be a vampire. I think that same thing applies to mummies. Not all mummies are pharaohs.
Yep.
The
mummies are just mummified cats.
Yeah, the pharaohs just happen to become mummies. Because I like the idea of like a mummy from a cursed mountain. I really like
an ice mummy?
Like an ice mummy, yeah. Like you wouldn't find them in a pharaoh or you know, in a tomb or anything. They died on some mountain and the magic cursed them to like haunt it essentially. Which once again, kind of like zombies, but a little more localized. Not really like mummies. In earlier D&D, they were made by a cult of dragons. Cult of the Dragon with secret rituals. Okay. Dragons are pretty cool in general. And so when you start mixing them with stuff like weird necromantic energy, you're just like corrupting a primal force, which I dig. I think that's fun.
This is also just me because of a little bit of background and history. I feel like there should be arguably more animal mummies than people mummies. Because the Egyptians mummified a lot of animals.
Right.
Just tons of them. From cats, baboons, crocodiles.
I'm kind of assuming that when they started making mummies into paint, that's probably what they used.
That and the servants of the wealthy dudes, because a lot of servants were killed and to be mummified with their the pharaohs or the other wealthy people who were getting mummified.
Not really true.
Not really true?
That's a Victorian myth.
Oh, damn it.
Tell me more.
I am fallen prey to the the means.
So pharaohs specifically, or high-ranking officials, would have servants, but they were never living people. They would have been ubchaptis, which are little small figurines that are supposed to animate and assist the pharaoh in the afterlife.
So when you say you're buried with your servants, you're buried with your like spiritual servants.
Yeah, little tiny card figurines that are often in like a little chest off to the side.
Kind of like votive offerings.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now they were buried with lots of food, both cooked and uncooked. Even the cooked, like everything was like also mummified. Like ducks that were prepped for cooking were treated the same way as a mummy, so dried out and wrapped and placed in little caskets, so the pharaoh could eat them later.
Feels like you could have saved a lot of time with just buying some tinfoil. That was a bad joke. Anyway, I've experienced an odd occurrence with my channel I'm subscribed to. With a channel I'm subscribed to, I'm unable to comment their live streams. Is that a glitch or did they ban me? I don't recall making the insensitive comments. It might be that they might have it turned off. Sometimes with live streams you can just turn comments off, or you have to be like a paid member or yeah, there's a few different types of chats options when they're doing that. So you might they might only be doing member communications, or you might have to be subscribed for like a certain amount of time. That's the only thing I think of. If you were banned, I don't know if that would do it. It would tell you, I think, because you would type something and it would just say banned comment instead of. I believe. I'm not sure.
It could also be YouTube, being just being weird.
Stupid, yeah.
I know YouTube. Streaming services in general can get some weird glitchy stuff where they won't accept
I've also
stuff from specific IPs.
Yeah, it could also be that they're doing a premiere. Like if they're in a premiere chat, like they premiered a video and then they went to a live stream, it might still be in that premiere chat and you can't put comments on while it's being premiered, which is always driving me crazy. So
Weird.
Yeah. Dragons are my favorite monsters in D&D. I know that every dragon there is in D&D. I know like every dragon there is in D&D. Most people don't know about yellow and orange dragons, the powerful lower dragons like the dragon thoth. I don't know what that is, but I feel like that might be a balls joke. So you can tell me what that is, but I'm not going to ask what it is. Child bird baby Yoda moved, yeah.
Baraga Thoth is an interesting name because Thoth is like that suffix is specifically the Egyptian god of records and knowledge, right?
Thoth?
Reaping Doom. It's a Dracolich.
Oh.
It's a Dracolich archmage. So
I'm able to type in chat, but when I toggle chat settings, the text I typed appears and I don't see it. I would try a different browser first, but then yeah, who knows? Maybe you got banned. I'm not sure. You could message them and ask, but yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. They might also. There might be a way to put a limit. Like, so you can only, but that I think would tell you. I think that would tell you if you were limited. But I also think it would tell you if you were banned.
yeah, I feel like it should. Considering like some people probably have like, if they're a big YouTuber, they may have mods monitoring the chat that are just like, well, this seems sus. I'm gonna block this person. Even though they probably are a legit person.
I could try switching it over to members only chat and see if it does the same thing and then switch it back. Want to try that? Block people from typing for like 30 seconds. Oh, I'm not looking at Restream. I'm sorry. Is anyone typing in Twitch? No. Okay, we're fine.
I don't know. I left Twitch because it was just ads.
Joe Crow, welcome in.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do. A blue skittle, hello, hello. I'm so sorry. I'm just now seeing the Twitch chat because I forgot that Twitch was a thing. That's my bad. It's my bad, and I feel bad about it. Blue skittle, how are you doing? It's been a while. I hope you're doing okay. If you're still here, hello. If you're not here, I totally get it. Joe Crow, welcome in as well. I'm just gonna open Twitch chat. It has been a long while. Oh, Druid's drawn with me. Jesus. Sorry, I had the thing zoomed in, and my hand was just covering up your...
That's okay. I only just barely started, so...
Okay.
I'm struggling today.
My brain is fried. Arting along and playing some Dead Cells every now and again. Nice. That sounds awesome. I don't remember how to pop out the Twitch chat. Maybe I can't pop out the Twitch chat? I feel like I used to. If I get copyright claimed by, like, Mattel or whoever made this stupid... It's not stupid, I'm sorry. this kid keyboard. Oh, man.
Because of the sound it's making?
Yeah. Oh, maybe you guys can't hear it, that's perfect if you can't.
I can't hear it in the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just...
I have no idea what YouTube sound progression is doing.
So I have this like kid keyboard, right?
Yep.
So it's just big buttons, but it's got all the keys, and when you push it, it's like A is for Apple. It's like great, Teach the kid. Okay. He will take it and he will flip it over onto the backside of it, and then he will jump on it. And he will jump on the thing, so it's just like just like freaks out because it's just all the buttons are getting mashed. And then when he walks away from it, leaves it, it's just like, are you still there? Do you want to keep learning? It's just like, chill out. Chill out, keyboard.
Step on me more.
Yeah. It has an off button, so it's not like it's driving me super crazy. It's just, I hope I'm not going to get copyright claimed for it.
I doubt it. If it was going during this conversation, I wasn't hearing anything.
Okay, cool. I like to use Streambot for the multi-chat combo app. Ooh. I will have to look at that. I'm just using the Restream chat, and it's not great. It's not great. Need to give him a tablet with some games on it. Later. Well, I'm going to wait a little bit for that.
A little too young.
Let the kid have his first birthday before you turn him into a tablet child.
Right now, like, he loves drawing on the my tablet, my big one.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to, like, hold him up because he will just basically plow through it. Like, he will just lean on it and throw it. But I think I'll eventually probably get him a tablet so he can draw on, for sure, because he loves that. He likes it. We got, like, a really cheap one for Christmas that, like, looks like a tablet. It's actually pretty cool. Like, it's interesting technology. Because it's essentially, it's more akin to like you draw on it and it stays that way until you push the button, and then the button electrically charges it for half a second and like remagnetizes it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like those old ones where you like had to pull up the paper, but digital, kind of neat. Doesn't actually have like a glowing screen or anything. It just is. Just pressure that makes it go away, which is kind of cool. I went to sleep past 11 p.m. last night. Woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. This makes me happy because I usually sleep late, but I'm a morning person. Nice. I stayed up too late last night. Oh, my kid. What happened?
I went to bed early last night, and then I woke up, and then I went to bed late again. I basically slept twice, which I think means that I've pushed myself too hard this week.
Possibly. The Ground tile looks good.
Good. I'm glad. The screenshots you shared of it make me think it's probably a little bit too bright.
I think the material when I took the screenshot was still reflective, so I got
Okay.
it looks a lot better when it's matte.
That's good. Is it too busy? Does it
Nope.
detract from the characters?
I don't think so.
That's good. I knew that I needed some line art in it because that's the style, right? It's really simple characters with line art kind of cartooning. But I also knew that I needed to not have like black line art
Yeah.
because that would draw way too much attention. So I did my best to try to finagle the visuals of it.
There's definitely going to be some, I don't want to say like growing pains with it, but just
Yeah,
in general,
no, 100%.
like fiddling. It's going to like require a lot of fiddling and going through a bunch of different things. And by
Yeah.
the end, like when you're doing textures for a video game, you're probably going to end up with 5 or 6 variations of each.
Yeah,
tile,
yeah.
Just for like making it look a little different. But
Yeah, I'm not super
looks
worried
good.
about it because like I wrote when I sent you the file it's the very first iteration of what is going to of necessity be a throwaway texture. So,
Right.
so I'm not worried about it.
I'll probably use it for a little while.
Yeah, as long as it's functional and serving your purpose right now,
Mm-hmm.
then I have succeeded.
I made a dragoon.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He's got a spear. Go bang, bang,
I'm
bang.
legit. I'm legit surprised it was not the first character.
I mean, I
made.
did make this first, not with this sprite, but with a different sprite, and then I made a rugby character because I thought it looked better.
Mhm.
But this is kind of fun. He just attacks stuff. I'm working on his jump right now, and it's not there yet. So, but that's what I'm working on. That will be stage 3 today, because I've not.
Oh,
You all right, kid? Just joking. This game you're making looks nice. Thank you. I sometimes skip sleep to get my days and nights straightened out. Yeah, I think that's kind of my process too. Like I'm not good at napping. I've never been good at napping. I can't really do it. So it's like if I don't get enough sleep, I'm just gonna have a bad day and then I go to bed early. It works out. But sometimes it works out. Sometimes I can't sleep and I just keep getting more and more tired.
Blue Skittle asked, "Do you use Restream to do the multi-streaming?"
I am, yeah. I'm using Restream right now. What program language do you use? I'm doing it in Unity, so I'm using C#. I believe it's C#. Yeah. And yeah, like so. I'm just trying now to get back into dual streaming, because I stopped doing Twitch for a few months just because I couldn't keep up with it. Because I used to do Twitch Tuesday, Thursdays, and now I just don't have. I don't have the wherewithal to do that and to raise the kid. So, but there's no reason that I can't be doing the Wednesday, Friday streams on both. So if you have something better than Restream, please let me know. I think we might have talked about this before, but I don't remember what the consensus was.
Yeah.
I feel like even though she's a mummy, she needs a bun. Like the hair doesn't go away; it just gets wrapped up.
Just becomes crusty.
Crusty and gross, full of rat poop.
And only if they're a poorly taken care of mummy.
All right, there is the mummy. Cheerleader. I think that's it. I think we're done. Oh my kid. Only downside to Adam? Man, that text is hard to read. I think it's AITUM. Is that it requires double your upload bandwidth because you're essentially putting out 2 streams at once. Ah. I could try it. My internet kind of sucks sometimes, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Comcast.
YouTube joined us on the dark side of Twitch. We have emotes. You do have cool emotes. YouTube members have emotes, which is fun. If you're on vanilla OBS, I recommend using a free plugin called. Oh, okay. So it is a plugin. I think I have seen a plugin for that. And I think I tried it once and it made my computer die, but I've upgraded since then, so it might work. I can try it again. I'll look into that. I'll look into that this week. Because I know the first time I used Restream, I had bandwidth problems. But, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done with this.
Damn it. I think I've lost my ability to draw.
Yeah? Okay. Oh, we'll go. We'll go. Sure. I think I'm most proud of the feet. I think that looks creepy and I like it. Alright.
Mummy foot pics.
I forgot about the Kermit emote. That's great. Dun, 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 dun. I've been a little obsessed with the game recently, but I really want to get it done so I can start doing artwork. And I'm real close. I say 3 days in a row, and then I find new broken things to fix.
Yep. But also, people, if you really like Rook's art, consider a commission.
Commissions. I could take commissions.
Yep.
Commissions are open. What was I doing? Oh, I'm rolling. Rolling for a new thing. There we go.
But like Rook said, may take a small back burner to the game for a moment.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get all of the base scripting done by next week. Like, I want to have that done by next week, so that from then on it can be like every week I want to make at least 1 or 2 characters and a monster until the game has like a really cool populated thing. And I'll put it up on Steam, and we'll try to play it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if people like it. But I gotta figure a lot of stuff out for that. 4, a wyvern bard wielding a steampunk guitar. Okay. A wyvern bard, huh? Not a wyvern born.
One of those guitars.
I never understood why.
I think it's... I don't want to say it's like... It's not hipster stuff now. But it's like... When it was popular, it was a weird thing, right? Like, it was kind of unique and kind of kitschy and kind of like, that's stupid. And so it became... I think then it became kind of hipsterish. And then people are like, you know, that sounds okay. It's fine. And so now people like lost the hipster weirdness to it, and it's just a thing. It's just a thing. It's no longer a look. You're not trying to look cool using it. It's just a thing now.
Mm.
But it feels very 80s to me.
Yeah, same.
No, it's like that.
It reminds me of the worst bits of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, there you go. I never watched Saved by the Bell.
I didn't really either. It's just like I'm mostly associating with the same sort of emotion, which is shitty end of the century high school.
Mm-hmm.
And the guitar was very much like, look at me, look at how different and cool I am.
Yeah.
Look
And
how
I hate-
tubular I am.
Yeah.
I'm too cool to play a real guitar.
Which I always interpreted as I'm not skilled enough or disciplined enough to play a real guitar.
I mean, I think it's way easier to learn how to play some power chords than it is to play a piano. But maybe that's my personal experience. Okay, school today, the kids bring tablets. Because they don't have books. Saved by the Bell drums.
I appreciate that aspect of tablets and laptops. I legit wish that universities would get on that more so that like
Some of them are.
I realize they're not going to stop forcing students to buy their ridiculously overpriced textbooks from the bookstores, but some teachers were switching to digital media when I got sick and had to leave school.
One of my last, what was it? I think it was a calculus class. Basically, you had to pay for a code for the PDF.
Mhm.
Like, here you go. It's like $20. It's like, cool. That's much better than the $400 book you want me to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could play 3 instruments, they would be the drums, the recorder, and the piano. Those are all highly achievable. Yeah. Made some marinara sauce in the slow cooker. Can I make some pizza with it tomorrow? Nice. Pizza sounds good. I could do that.
I
wanted
could
to play
make
the
pizza,
drums
I can't
really
digest
bad.
it.
I wanted to play the drums really bad when I was a kid. But my teacher wouldn't let me because he required that you have like 2 years of piano before you start playing the drums.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why? Did he have any reasoning as to why?
Reading the music I think was kind of important, and then besides that, there were a lot of kids that wanted to play the drums, and so I think it was kind of just like a filter.
Okay.
Yeah. As someone who was briefly in beginner band, drums was basically what everyone wanted to do, and all they would do is dick around on them.
Yeah. Yep. That was
See,
the plan.
in my high school, very few people wanted to play the drums because the
The devil's
drum line were shitty.
Yeah, in my high school, and middle school, I guess. I guess it was the same people. A lot of the drummers were. One of my best friends was one of the drummers, and he didn't really hang out with them, the other drummers. But the other drummers were all just kind of like band nerd jock assholes. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was probably a good thing that I dodged a bullet. But
I remember all of the people who played drums when I was there were all kind of just. A good chunk of them were like kind of elitist assholes.
Yeah. Which I always thought as
Like you play arguably the simplest instrument and arguably kind of the dumbest instrument, in my opinion.
like
Next
yeah,
to triangle.
Look,
we're
look,
getting into the. We don't need to shit on drummers.
no.
Drummers are really technical, and like there is a reason to learn the piano beforehand. I think. I mean, the way it's been explained to me, and like a good technical drummer is amazing, and they are few and far between.
Yeah.
But the same thing could be said for like guitarists, right? Like a lot of
Yep.
people can pick up and play a guitar. There's some really amazing guitarists out there. So it's an instrument.
and some guitarists who are really shitty people.
Yeah, it's it seems really really simple when you just have like a snare drum and all you have to do is hit a beat. Some of those beats are really complicated, and then when you have
Yep.
30 drums, so
Yeah. I
cymbals.
will yeah. I
That's
will
fair.
never
The cymbals is-
diminish what a good drummer can do for any piece of music in terms of increasing the dynamics of the sound.
Mhm.
Like drummers are really like a percussion line is really, really important aspect of any band. It's really frustrating being the first trumpet and having the entire drum line shit on you for not being nearly as good as them when they have no ability to play notes.
Yeah, that's the problem with. I think high school sucks. So let's do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Yep.
And change the
Let's just
subject.
accept it.
But every instrument is different. Like just because you can play one doesn't mean you can play another. And the people that are whatever the musical equivalent of a polymath is, are pretty awesome. So
A savant. Yeah, our band did not have any of those talented drummers. They were kind of just assholes. There's also only like 5 of them.
we had a pretty big marching band. So like
Yeah, so did I. So did we.
okay, hear me out. What if a guitar was a machete?
It would not be a very good guitar or a very good machete, but you could use it for both.
Here you go. Here's my response. So let's say this is a machete.
Uh-huh.
This would probably be one of the few bards who is very close to cutting off his own dick. And that would be dangerous.
Yep.
I don't think they would like that. Probably not a good idea to hold your knife against your lap and slap it a whole bunch. That seems dangerous.
Yeah.
But I will say, with a guitar though, you don't really slap the guitar. You just essentially are playing piano like almost a hurdy-gurdy style, where it's
I
just
don't know.
I mean, go watch Dan Avidan just wail on that thing. It's great.
Yeah, if you're not slapping a guitar, you're not taking advantage of all the style points that it offers.
I have definitely seen people play a guitar on like a table. And it's like, that's just a keyboard, man. Like, what are you doing? You're just playing a keyboard now.
I mean,
Are you lactose intolerant or allergic to gluten? Who are we talking to, Jordan? Me? I'm lactose intolerant, which sucks, but doesn't stop me.
I am. My stomach is just messed up in general. I'm not like specifically gluten intolerant, but gluten can mess me up if I eat too much of it. Same with cheese. Same with pretty much everything, and that just comes with autoimmune related IBS. That's all.
My grandmother.
I'm not going to pull a
apparently
California
has-
Karen and say I don't want to eat it because it's not popular anymore. I do want to eat it because it's delicious, but it hurts me sometimes.
Right. I had an
That's
ice cream
all.
cone for the first time in like a year.
Oh
The
no.
other day.
Was it worth it?
That was totally worth it. It was
Mm.
Beep, 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 beep. Wyvern's hands are not hands, right? We got some of these going on, I think.
they're like bat
Yeah,
arms.
bat wings. So
Yeah.
really,
They basically have thumbs as their only digit for manipulating.
so I'm gonna give him super long arms, and then we're gonna have the wings right here. That makes sense to me. What's up, kid? How do you always find that? Yeah,
No one doesn't hide it well enough,
I guess.
or hide it too well that it's easily found.
Oh, this is supposed to be steampunk, right? So I guess I'll just put a gear on it.
Is it steampunk? I
Yeah.
don't
Yes.
remember.
I remember that part of the prompt. Surprisingly.
It made me very sad.
Ah,
Honestly, like, there's lazy punk. I think the amount of, how do I say this? The over fantasification of things is like, if you live in a world where you can have highly intelligent magical robots, but you have to steampunk a guitar, it's like, which, so
It's-
aesthetically, I assume it's just an aesthetic choice, but like, I feel like that's the thing that irks me about steampunk is like, it's just like, oh, I want technology, so I have to make it weird. It's like, or you could just use the same rules they do for magic and make it like high fantasy magical guitar. That sounds pretty dope.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cram a crystal in it instead. It's just like,
They use lightning magic to power electric guitar.
yeah. I'm disillusioned. That's the word. I'm disillusioned by steampunk.
Like, I've slowly kind of came around on it, not as an aesthetic choice, but as like a narrative thing. Like, when it's done well, it's good, but like, it takes a lot for it to be done well.
Yeah, yeah.
And slapping brass gears on a leather top hat at Chronicles is not
Right.
it being well.
I think I'm with you there, which means that I feel about the same about steampunk stuff as I feel about SCP stuff. For the most part, I don't care to engage
I think the biggest,
unless it's done well.
the reason that I push back against it so much is because people use steampunk as an exaggeration of our world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a good example of this is in Star Wars. There's not supposed to be any zippers, right? Like, we don't need zippers. But then there's this meme going around of like, Rey's lightsaber has a screw on it, and they're like, there should not be any screws in this universe. Everything is welded by droids. Screws don't exist. And it's like, interesting. Right? So like that's what happens with steampunk. When you start putting steampunk into other things, you're actually interjecting our world into it, because you have to make stuff that exists in our world. Like steam power is cool. Like, I think that's fine. I think that's totally great. But it's really hard for me to not put, 'cause I'm referencing something that is directly us into it, right? So
Yeah, yeah. I suppose the same thing holds true with Magitech. I played a D&D game once where there was Magitech stuff happening, and like, I was playing an artificer. There was no reason for me not to start like pursuing cell phone data,
right.
like cell phone technology, data storage, and long distance communication technology.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing of, what is it, the steam powered giraffes? Is that the band? They paint themselves up like robots, and then screw with their their video capture settings so they look like jittery.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not familiar.
They were big on TikTok a while back. I never actually listened to them, but the algorithm just kept feeding me stuff. They do a good job of like the steampunk aesthetic. Like, they look very clean and crisp and greasy, if that makes sense.
Yep.
They did a really good job. And so, like I said, the aesthetic part of it, I think, is fine. But like, I think the thing that irks me is just like, you don't have to justify having something from our world by offsetting it by steampunk. Just put it in there. Just have a guitar. I think it's great. Have a guitar. I don't care where you got it. But you can do a lot of fun stuff.
I think my biggest real irk with it is the need for it to always be Victorian England.
Yeah. Which I think,
Yeah,
I
yes.
really think that's that's really what people want. They want that aesthetic, right? They want the Victorian steampunk aesthetic. Not like, because I like dieselpunk. Dieselpunk's a little different. It's more Mad Maxy. It's very dirty.
Yeah.
Steam Boy is a really cool movie. I highly suggest people watch it. Because that's kind of a different take on steampunk aesthetic without being Victorian. It's a little Victorian, but it's different.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it takes place in England.
It does.
Full stop.
Yeah, but like it's not the overglorified like Wild Wild West or whatever it is.
I mean, Wild Wild West is a steampunk show.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Movie.
I wasn't sure if that was the right name.
But yeah, I don't know. I've tried to look for people who've like done like non-Victorian stuff, like because like steam technology at its very basic. We have evidence of it in Egypt, in like late Roman period, like a little steam ball engine.
Yeah.
Like it was just there. I was like, why not make like, I don't know, ancient Egyptian or Greek steam stuff? That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, the other
They
thing
got
people
clockwork
don't get
stuff.
is that like nuclear power is steam power.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is
We actually have not left the steam age.
Yeah.
We've just advanced it to the point where nobody thinks about it anymore.
And so that's the thing I love about the steampunk aesthetic is like, what if steam power took over at this point in time? It's like, but how? Like,
It already
are they
has.
burning wood or coal? Like, how are you making the steam? And that's why the Steam Boy movie is really funny because they're like, we found the perfect Arctic glacial water that can hold infinite energy, and it's like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
But it
No,
doesn't
it-
matter. Just
Not
doesn't
only
matter.
does that not make any sense, if it held infinite energy, it would not become steam.
And so now, if you have a steam pump keytar, where's the steam coming from?
Yep.
It's magic. It's all magic. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm arguing anymore. Disillusioned. I'm disillusioned by steampunk.
Yeah. I don't think there is an argument that you have made. I think it's just
I think
you're
I'm done with
expressing
that.
your opinion.
I do like the idea of a Wyvern guitarist. And my failings as being able to draw steampunk are very apparent. Because I'm not a fan of the aesthetic. It's just got a hose. It's got like a hose to a big backpack full of steam. A little fire on it. Oh, okay. I can make this cool. We'll put a barbel on the end of it with a steam method inside of it. Help! I'm trapped. And then blows out the whistle here, and God, this would I missed a big opportunity here. If it's a steam powered keytar, it really should have been an organ. Like this thing needs like 1,000 pipes bellows here, just like beep.
So like a circus calliope.
Yeah, essentially. That's actually what that's yeah. There you go. We reinvented something that already exists. I dig it.
I will say most people don't know that a calliope exists. Just saying.
That's because it's not great.
Well, it's a circus instrument. It's a self-playing
Right.
steam orchestra.
But
No,
they weren't
Calliopes were not originally
Originally,
circus things. That they just were a fairly impressive instrument that could be packed up fairly easily, and so it became a circus instrument. They can sound amazing.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna pause, and my statement was meant as I've only ever seen one play one of 3 songs. They weren't widely used. If you have proof other than that, I will gladly take it and retract my statement. So it's not a bad instrument. It just like wasn't widely accepted as a functional instrument. That's a better way for me to say what I was trying to say. Uncanny Goblin Warforged Rogue. I will put it on the list.
Uncanny.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean by uncanny? Like uncanny?
Uncanny. Oh,
Is that a type of goblin?
No. I think they mean like a uncanny warforged goblin.
Please explain.
Like it looks too realistic to be a warforged. I don't know.
Mm,
You know, the uncanny valley effect,
sure. Okay.
but applied to a goblin, applied to a
Cyberpunk
warforged.
goblin. 13. Some creature
I
in a water
assume.
tank operating a robot. I assume they mean like a robot with a goldfish bowl on top. That's my guess. Oops, I drew it on the wrong layer.
Push-ups.
Oh yeah, I should do push-ups. I don't want to do push-ups. I'm not gonna do push-ups because I'm really tired. And really tired plus push-ups mean death. So
Death.
I don't need my blood pressure to go any higher than it is right now. Jude, how are you feeling? You want to draw something else, or are you?
Once I find music compositions for Calliope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's like the circus theme.
Yep.
The
carousel theme.
the carousel theme. And then I think there's like I've heard the entertainer once on it.
Mm.
I have heard Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
This,
taking up the ball
the-
game? That's it. Wait, that's a. Do they use calliopes for baseball games? I thought those were.
No, that is a baseball organ.
Yeah, that's baseball.
It looks like, or
Looking
this
at
article that I'm looking at says that they were often put on riverboats, on steam boats,
Makes sense.
because they already had a means of steam, and so those would have been. Oh, I mean, assuming that they were tuned fairly well, which I think that's specifically the problem with the circus calliope, is that they probably don't get tuned. They need to be kept fairly frequently, and circuses probably did not have the time or the means to do so.
Yeah, like I'm not denying that it's a cool instrument or that it like I've heard them sound good. Like I'm not saying like oh they suck, they sound bad. I just like they weren't mainstayed enough that people kept using them for things.
That is fair. That is a point I will concede.
Like what's the other one? Like there's the hurdy-gurdy, right? There's like 2 or 3 songs
Yep.
on the hurdy-gurdy that we hear all the time. But there's like not a lot of people that know how to play it. Like so that's kind of the same thing. I guess it's more defunct than bad. I should have said they were bad instruments.
Yeah.
But I meant bad as in like they don't keep being used. So.
It's essentially just like a violin piano. Is all the hurdy-gurdy is.
Yeah, which is cool. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I like the
Invented in 1851 in America.
like an imitation of the form of a goblin, but very off, like making a goblin out of scraps. Okay, gotcha. So you welcome in. What time is it? 11 o'clock? Yeah, we got more time.
Related instruments, there's one called a luster-chant, which is chantant, which is literally a singing chandelier or
Okay.
musical lamp. A large chandelier with glass pipes of varying lengths, each illuminated and heated by an individual gas jet. Keyboard allowed the player to turn down individual jets. As the glass tubes cooled, a note was produced.
There's also the pyrophone, which
Yep.
just sounds amazing.
Is it fire?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a calliope that uses internal combustion
Okay.
instead of steam.
The fire organ is another name for it.
Hey guys, I think I understand why Europe thinks America is stupid and childish.
Okay.
You swing from the chandelier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that in relation
ready.
to the fire organ, or did you have something that you figured it out?
No, I'm giving up on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant on your comment. Was that in relation to the fire organ?
Oh, yeah.
Or was that?
Yes,
Okay,
that was in relation to the fire
Ironically,
organ.
not made by Americans, was invented in Germany.
Hmm.
Didn't
It
expect
feels very
Strasbourg.
American. Yeah, the singing chandelier was also French, but felt distinctly American.
You guys talking about calliopes got me going down a loophole of how organs are made. And if a warforged bard can contain a compact within itself. Yeah, we've drawn a couple of different
Yeah,
organ organ warforged.
there's a very old video on Rook's channel. It's what 3 or 4 years old now. Where a group of us artists got together to make a video based on viewer suggestions,
Yeah.
like a proper video, and I drew a porcelain ocarina warforged.
That's right, that was cool.
So yeah, I mean, like, I figure there's no reason why not. My neighbor has an organ that's about the size of a piano.
I think I bring this up every time we talk about this kind of thing. There was a show on MTV. There's an anime on MTV. So it wasn't great. Trying to think about what it's called. Heat Guy J? I think Heat Guy J might be what it's called. It was about a preppy rich guy cop, which doesn't matter because he was a lame character and he was only there for sex appeal. And then his big, giant, like, robot companion
Mm-hmm.
who was steam powered. And whenever he would do anything, he'd throw off his coat and he'd be like covered in mufflers. And it would shoot out steam and it would sound like a wolf howl. And I love that concept, even though
That,
yeah.
yeah. That sounds like the thing that 11-year-old me would have been like, fuck the cop guy, this guy is where it's at.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
awesome.
it was peak 90 or peak 2000 like
Mm-hmm.
MTV Edge bullshit.
Yeah.
And it ticked off all the parts of my brain that needed to see that. So
Awesome. I'm rolling, by the way.
okay.
7. Halfling insurgent tactician using sniper gear.
Nice.
Okay. Halfling splinter cell, got it.
Would a crab make a robot with fingers or with crab claws? I think you'd make a giant.
Oh, that is a difficult question, right?
A lobster artificer piloting a robot. Pinch, pinch.
This is like crab claws are fairly dexterous in terms of hand-like appendages within the animal world.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I don't see any reason why it would go looking for a primate hand in the robot, for example, when they could go with something they're familiar with. Definitely, no name says definitely crab claws.
Learning a lot of instruments history. Well, we can't talk about food today for some reason, so it's got to be the gut bucket boogie. That looks pretty cool.
Bryce says, "You were alive in the times MTV played music. Are you immortal?"
Right. I lived through both regular MTV and MTV2 stopping playing music.
I did as well, but I never watched MTV, so.
I loved MTV. MTV was great. And then it became reality TV, and my world got slightly smaller.
Everything became reality TV, and I stopped watching TV.
Yep.
Let's see. Halfling.
Maybe a big backpack for water filtration. Put a little dingle noggle over here. I love the word dongle. Such a good term.
It is an excellent term.
Excuse me. Like, if a crab can build a robot with those claws, you don't need hands for nothing. That's fair. Kobold Carnival. Yeah. You just need to animate a calliope and then cover it in kobolds. The organ grinder sounds like a cool character we should add to the game. It's just like a tiny guy with an organ grinder that has like monkeys running around him. Spawns monkeys. What was Y2K?
Keep looking up for that anime every time it gets brought up, and I found it once.
What Y2K
Never
was?
again. Say what?
What Y2K was? What were you looking at?
No. The anime.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's
like
YJ. I'll look it up.
Y2K was unnecessary. That's what Y2K was. That's all it was.
I was in kindergarten then.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yes. Okay. I just looked at that Peak Guy J. I was searching like anime about cop and robot partner, and that's a little too broad.
Yeah. There you go. Whoops. If that's not peak 2000 garbage, I don't know what is. Like,
I think I watched an episode of it.
super simplified character design and like hyper detailed robots and guns. It's like,
I mean, it's basically just Ghost in the Shell.
I mean, it was right on the tail of Ghost in the Shell, I think. If not at the same time.
I think it actually came out, in terms of the anime, not the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it came out before the anime, but after the movie, so.
Okay.
Because I think the movie was like early 90s.
I think it was 98, yeah.
Oh. It's had 26 episodes.
Weird.
Longer than I thought.
Maybe I need to rewatch it. If I remember right, it's very much the like the Crow vibe, where it's just a lot of kind of butt rock and long pan camera shots. It's like slice of life in New York, and it's like, okay, I don't care. I want to know what's going on.
It felt almost like Cowboy Bebop a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Cowboy Bebop has a really cool vibe.
Yeah.
And that's part
Cowboy
of the show.
Bebop is unique.
And so I think this and a lot of other shows tried to capture that same kind of thing, where like, oh yeah, it's about the music, and it's like, yeah, you pick bad music. You pick bad music for this. Did you watch them build Stonehenge? I never got paid for that, you know. Am I drawing on a different layer? I am. Ooh, sorry, I'm encroaching.
I did watch not the original, but I watched some researchers attempt to recreate the methodology of stonework that built the what's the cathedral in Florence? Dome of the Santa Maria?
No idea.
The dome one.
Yeah, yeah. The Brunelleschi's famous dome.
The
Don't know.
double dome, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about the same size. It's about the same size as the Pantheon dome, but it is completely. It was built without any support structure. It is completely freestanding. It was very cool. And a lot of the specifics of the techniques that were used were lost. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, it's a double dome, one octagonal exterior, smooth round interior.
Bell peppers.
There's a staircase that goes up in between the two, and you can see the brickwork is done in a herringbone pattern
Cool.
to break up some of the stress.
It's made with brick too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's yeah, fired clay brick. So was the Pantheon actually.
Mm.
It's just covered in concrete. Yeah, sheathed in concrete.
That's kind of what I assumed.
Anyway, sorry, I will
No.
stop. We don't need to get into. If I go off on architecture, I'm not going to stop. So
Bells
we'll
and
stop.
peppers. I could make
Or
some.
just being a dork.
I am being adorkable. Yes.
I could make some pepper steak stew. That sounds pretty good. I don't have any beef though. It'd have to be turkey, and that's probably not gonna be as good. I need to drink at least 2 glasses of water today. My goal is to finish this one before the stream ends. I'm gonna do one more at least. Here we go. It is almost noon. Let's see if we can go to noon. 13. Uncanny Goblin Warforged robe. The dice are favoring the new people today.
I feel like I'm drawing a Lalafell sniper.
Yeah, you can do that.
Halfling. That's kind of what this is, right?
Yeah, we've talked about that, I think, right? My theory that gnomes are just goblins, like extraplanar goblins.
I don't remember. I don't
Human?
remember having that conversation.
Human plus Fey equal elves. And then goblin, or gnome plus Fey equal goblin. But the problem is goblins are also, or gnomes are also Fey.
Yep.
So that's that.
I think you should be.
thing breaks down, right?
I feel like gnomes are fey dwarves.
Okay, I like this. So that means dwarves are human, though. So that's cool. So we got dwarves, we got humans. Okay, so then what are goblins? Halflings?
Also fey.
Halflings are fey goblins? Or goblin fey? Whatever.
I mean, if we're talking about Tolkien's specific lore, halflings are just short people. Short humans.
But they got the hairy feet.
I mean, I have hairy feet.
That's fair.
But I can also grow a beard, so.
Yep. Halflings can only grow mutton chops.
I'm basically drawing a robotic rugby here.
Which made me immediately think of your auto gnome video.
I love that auto gnome.
I did as well. That was a really good drawing. If you haven't watched it, in the chat, go watch it. You should play an auto gnome.
Go watch the Why You Should Play playlist and leave it on repeat.
Yeah.
Listen to it at night.
And then leave a nice comment.
Leave a comment on every video. Be like, hey, I watched this one. Hey, I watched this one. This one was good.
We gotta stop with the shameless self-promotion joke, as it is.
It's not a joke.
One I know.
Go watch my videos. Please. I need money.
Yep.
I need money.
Start a fight in the comments. That gets traction real fast.
I made one of the last. I made a video a long time ago of like how to read percentile dice, and a bunch of people. Every now and again, I'll get comments on it being like, "You're an idiot. That's wrong." And so I went and I made another one last week. So if you watch my shorts, you might have seen it. Trying to like re-clarify because people told me like 2 or 3 different ways to read it, and so I addressed those. And then sure enough, like there are always comments of people who don't actually watch the video and will try to correct me and be like, "No, this is the right way you do it." And it's like, that's what I said in the video. Like, what? But then people argue about that, and it's just like, whatever. You know what? Like, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Keep it.
I don't need.
Yep,
to correct,
just let it happen.
I don't need to correct any of these people. It's just people's opinions flying around on the internet.
Let them fight. The algorithm gods will be appeased.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh god, the algorithm is basically corn. Feeds on arguments and annoying comments.
Yep.
And the blood of the damned.
Yep.
I've never actually watched Children of the Corn.
I didn't either.
Oh no. I mean not corn as in the vegetable, but as in corn the Warhammer god.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of confused too, but I was like, popcorn? Like eating up popcorn? I tried to make it work. I tried to make it work in my brain.
I thought you were making a horror film reference that was over my head.
It's fine.
Children of the Corn was like part body snatcher, right? Like the children were being abducted and turned into demons.
I have no idea.
I've never
Where did
watched
the children come
Children
out
of the Corn.
No. Okay.
I just remember like a weird slime monster that showed up in one of them, but that could also just me not remembering correctly.
I thought it was just a weird
Cult where they killed all the parents.
yeah, and
Yeah, like aren't halflings
fed them
distinct
to the
from
corn.
humans? Like, did rings of power get that wrong because they were made clear distinctions? No, I didn't want to start a war with Druid, but yeah, the hobbits are distinct from humans in Tolkien's books, but it never explains how, because all of the races, the humans, the dwarves, the orcs, were created by gods, and then the hobbits just kind of showed up. And it's never rightly explained purposefully. So
and yeah. I thought that the hobbits were like that, it was lore established. That I totally could be wrong on this. I am not a super big Tolkien nerd. So if I do have this wrong, like, let me know. But I had been told that it was established lore that hobbits were derived from humans at some point in time, and that was important lore-wise because of the idea that the fate of the world is left in the least of men.
Interesting.
Literally.
That's an interesting concept. I could look into that some more.
Yeah. So that is specifically what I'm referencing. And if I'm wrong on that, I'm totally fine being wrong because I don't know for sure. Have not looked at it. This is just something somebody told me, and I thought that's really cool and totally something I think that Tolkien would have written.
Yeah, like I think No Name did. My pen just fell apart. Sorry. No Name did say something about basically like the rings needing to be not human. I guess that makes sense because like it does different things to humans than it does to hobbits. So that's a little interesting. So there might be something there. I've heard fan theories. I think they're fan theories about the Entwives, like kind of cultivating the hobbits. Or the
yeah, I
hobbits
have as well,
being...
but again, specifically, there is literally no lore on the Entwives because they are lost and they are supposed to stay that way.
Yep, and Tolkien has said that too. That he's just like they went away and disappeared, and I don't want to like. He's purposely not saying he doesn't know, and that's the point. Like they're supposed to be lost. You're right. So that's part of it. The other part of it was, I think at one point in time, someone said that a hobbit just popped out of a hole in the ground. So,
which would be very funny considering what Gimli said about dwarves.
Yeah. The other cool thing about that is that on Treebeard is one of the older creatures in the universe.
Yeah.
And he has a list of all the things that exist, and hobbits aren't on that list. And that's weird, right? And so I love about it. So
that is pretty cool
because
the goddess who created the Ents and the Entwives was in charge of the creation of most of the life, right?
Yeah. Well, all the plants and trees.
All the plants. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think she made the animals, but I think she made the trees first. She made the Ents, and then the Ents helped make the trees.
I know she did not make the dwarves.
Correct. Yeah, the dwarves were a different god.
But there were very few gods who had the ability to actually create life.
So there's the big god, and then there's like
Eru Ilúvatar, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. And then he made, I think, 3 trees, dwarves, and then I think there was one other guy that made stuff, and like these two liked each other, and I think he died, but it doesn't really matter because the guy that made the dwarves, he's like, I'm gonna make elves, and he's like, oops, I already made dwarves. He's like, what the shit you doing?
I'm sorry, I'll kill them. Yeah. Sorry, no, I jumped the gun. I'll kill him. No, don't kill them, you idiot.
And Morgoth was like, I want to make some shit, and he's like, why doesn't this work? And like, 'cause it's not your jam. And so people are like, we're gonna make stuff like cool mountains and things, and he's like, I'm gonna step on it. That's my job now. I'm just gonna step on it. It's like, god damn it, Morgoth.
What a man-child.
Get out of here.
You have a dominion. Why can't you like stay in your lane? Why you gotta be jealous of everybody else's stuff? You have cool stuff too. Play with your stuff.
There's a really cool. I like the fated thoughts behind things like that. Fated, like it's fate.
Yeah.
Because people were like, hey, why don't you just kill Morgoth? Like, that's not cool. And Ilúvatar was like, no, he's doing the thing I want him to do. And they're like, what? He's like, there's nothing he can destroy or make that I didn't mean for you to do. And so it's the same thing with the dwarves. He's like, when he was like, I'll kill the dwarves because you didn't want me to make them. He's like, no. I made you specifically to do something. Even though you broke the rules, you did a thing. So
we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Whole free will thing.
The Tolkien god is exactly. It's very, very chill, and just like everybody's killing each other. That's fine.
On the origins of Hobbit, literally unknown.
Yeah.
No origin has been stated for them.
Yep.
Only that they popped up in the Endurin River Valley.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they were discovered by the other free peoples of Middle Earth.
Yep.
And they had already been there for several generations. The earliest known groups of hobbits lived in the vales of that region, in the Wilderland, between Mirkwood and the Misty Mountains. So basically, like, the whole area that Bjorn lives in now, think about it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not Bjorn, but because he
Yeah,
lives before Mirkwood.
Bjorn the bear guy, but no, like he is in between the Misty Mountains and Mirkwood.
And I think that location, like, that's where the Entwives were headed, and that's why people kind of put that together. But there is no lore, like there is no canonical. It just doesn't exist, and Tolkien did that on purpose. So
According to the Lord of the Rings, they forgot any genealogical ties to their relatives, the big people. So that's the only seems the only reference that they may be related to men. But at this time there were 3 tribes: the Harfoots, the Soots, and the Fellowhides. And then they all kind of just came together in the Shire.
Cool.
They also lived near the ancestors of the Rohirrim, and so Hobbit speech has derivatives of Rowanese, which is, did not know that's what they wanted to call the Rohirrim language.
There we go. Okay. There's a little goblin. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I don't know if I want to do another one. That didn't take long. Drawing robotic goblins turns out not that difficult for me. Kind of fun. I'm gonna make him a little more interesting. Give him like.
It doesn't actually surprise me.
Fantasy sci-fi? What? Probably because I made him look like rugby, so he's just like infinite rugby. I guess I could give him some clothes.
If you have to.
If I have to. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Right? Did you not know about the witches in Star Wars?
Which is a Dathomir?
Yeah.
Oh man, Bri, they are right up your alley.
Because there's plenty of like cultures that have force using powers that aren't Jedi or Sith.
Yeah.
Though the witches of Dathomir are definitely on the darker side.
Yeah. They, if I remember correctly from the
Clone Wars show?
Yeah. Asajj Ventress is a she is of that race of that planet, and she I believe she and Maul are the same species, and Darth Maul was basically a cultural sacrifice, basically, to the Sith, and Ventress was a cultural sacrifice to the Jedi, in order to keep both of them off of the planet, in general, because their species is very force sensitive. Ventress was Ventress watched her Jedi master get murdered as a youngling, and then she turned to the dark side, basically.
What are we talking
She
about?
has a little Star Wars stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Star Wars. What are we talking about?
Which is a Dathomir,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah.
Rod
Asajj
just recently
Ventress,
found that they had witches.
Yeah.
I will now watch Because of Witches. It's finally interesting. Yeah, check out
It was
Check out
the
the
is it,
Ahsoka.
it was the
The
Clone
Ahsoka show is
Wars,
good.
Yeah.
or was it the Clone Wars that had
Yeah.
that had the whole
The last.
There was a whole arc with them in it.
Right.
yeah, there
in
was a
the
whole
Clone Wars show.
there was a whole storyline with
Unfortunately, Rebels has more in it.
does it?
Yeah.
So if you're okay with the kid shows,
Kid-centric show.
truly a show made for kids, not for kids and adults.
Do they get familiars? Kind of. Darth Maul is technically a Dathomirian witch familiar.
Yeah, yeah. It is a matriarchal society, and the men are slaves and breeding stock.
Yeah. What was the new one that just came out that everyone hated?
The
Acolyte.
Acolyte. Yeah. That was actually, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. But it definitely could have been better. Like, the writing was just kind of, like, conceptually really good, and the writing was very safe, I think is a good way to say it. Like, and it
Didn't break any molds.
No, it broke no molds, and it was actually kind of like,
I think the word you're looking for is it's just fine.
yeah, it's fine. It feels like it was written by AI. That's the best way I can say.
Oh.
Like not in the like the words are wrong way. It's just very bland. Like,
Yep.
I wish they're like, oh, we've got this big secret. It's like, we already figured it out. We figured it out in the first episode because it's like, it's not good. It's not a good twist. You should have just started with this, and then that would have been fine. So, who knows? I wish it was better. It was still good. I'm sad it's not going to get another season because I kind of want to see where they take some of the stuff. But a lot of the characters just, you don't care about them. You just don't care about the characters, which is always a bad sign. So, I think we're going to do one more drawing, and then I will probably call it here. Nope. Too high. Too high. How many do we got left here? Oh, I already did that one. So I guess Draco Lich Wildborn. I rolled very high today. I kept rolling.
And got all the new stuff.
Yeah. I guess I should have been rolling a d12 instead of a d20, because like anything above 10, I had to re-roll.
Yeah.
Draco Lich Wildborn Sorcerer. Wait, was it a Draco Lich or a Draco Lich Born? I think it was a Draco Lich.
Draco Lich born.
Yeah, okay.
So a Dragonborn Lich.
I'm interested. I'll watch it. Yeah, it's still good. It's still good, and I like it. I like the Force Witches are a really cool concept. Because I think it also touches more on the idea that like the Force exists, right? Like the Force is just a thing in that universe, and the Jedi and the Sith are like, people think like, oh, you have to be that, but like, no, the Force exists, and like there are tons of Force sensitive people, and the witches are just another sect which lean to the dark side. But their whole concept is just like freedom through the Force.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like gain power through the Force and became a religion essentially, and this became a religion, and this is more of like, this is more like Wiccan, I guess. It's like, no, true magic through the Force.
Yeah.
But they lean closer to the Sith because the Jedi are opposed to other people not using the Force wisely, which is, you know, their own bullshit religion, canonical crap. Or it's not the right term.
But I get the reasoning.
Yeah.
Like, don't want like just people wandering willy nilly, like actually
Shooting
force
lasers.
lightning people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, we do that.
Well, it would be fair if it didn't turn out that the Jedi and the Sith were the worst Force users in the universe. So.
Yes.
Ooh, let's unpack that. Do you mean that they're like bad for using the Force, or that they are bad at using the Force?
No, well, because I think that they're the most in terms of skill, they're those two become the most proficient at using the Force, but they also become such big established names associated with the Force that they basically lose control of their own organizations.
Yeah.
The Jedi especially, and because of the way the two play off of each other, they both become forces for chaos and destruction within the universe.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why everyone should be like gray Jedis who are like, despite having the Jedi in their name, they're like, both sides are doing it wrong. You need to have a nice balance of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it goes back to I really like Star Wars lore in general, but the problem is that
Good.
like the lore that exists for the Star Wars universe, because they live in a stagnant universe, which is the same as like Dune and Warhammer.
Yeah.
Whereas like they're not inventing new technologies, right? They're just like they've been in the same level of technology because it's so high for millennia. And
Yeah.
so really cool shit happened back here at the height of the Jedi's power, like the King Arthur bullshit, where everything was great and amazing and magic was awesome. And all of the movies that we've watched take place right here.
Yeah.
Like after all of that is gone. So
Which is an interesting place to put stuff in, because right, like at the beginning of that is you have utopia in space, which is really more of what Star Trek is, and then like the thing that defines Star Wars basically is how grungy everything is. It's when everything's falling apart, right? Like you've got the Republic of Unified Planets that we literally watch fall apart in the prequels to make way for an empire of literal evil magic space wizards who are grabbing for power and slaughtering each other with wild abandon.
Yeah, because like the Jedi War stuff that happens between the Jedi and the Sith could make cool movies, but it would be like a high fantasy thing, right? Just like they've made a few really cool fight scenes and stuff of some of the Old Republic that like a full-on Jedi battle is bananas. But like when the Jedi are so unique and like people don't believe in them anymore, they become way more impactful, which I think
Bry asked
using a laser sword.
Bry asked if only specific groups can use specific powers. He was under the impression that all Force users had the same powers, just at a different strengths.
So yes,
I
and
think
no.
that there are
Like,
I think that there are specific light side and dark side powers, but that has not less to do with the powers you get from the Force and more to do with the way the different philosophies
because like
interact with using the Force.
Yeah, like Darth Vader using the Force choke thing, right?
Yeah.
Like any Jedi should be able to do that, but that's like willingly using the Force to impart pain and death on somebody, and that's not something the Jedi would ever teach somebody to do. Like, so the Force abilities are kind of universal. Like there's a few times when they talked about Force healing's really rare. Like that's a thing that like you can do in a lot of the video games because it makes sense. But in lore, they're like, no, not a lot of people can do that. That's just not something people can do. So there are some things that are apparently like knacks. You can have a knack for something. Yeah. But the Force is just the Force, right? Like, can you harness the things around you, and then what do you do with it?
Yeah. Like, I was always under the impression that, like, Force Lightning was a specific, like, Sith power. But then you see Yoda breaking it out. And it's like, maybe it's just a particularly high-level skill that most of the Jedi we see are not capable of using it.
Yeah, because it is just energy manipulation, which is kind of what the Force in general is about, right? Like, Force choking is just telekinesis applied to attack somebody directly. by choking them out. Forced lightning is just it is just energy manipulation to create electricity and direct it at someone with the intent to harm them.
I loved the in one of the new movies, somebody stops a whole bunch of like plasma bolts with their moves, and a whole bunch of people got mad about that. And it was like, man, you missed out on some of the old video games were like pulling moons out of the sky. Like it gets crazy, and so I think it's fun to let people write whatever they want and see how it goes, but at the same time, like there should be limits.
Yeah, the Force is just the magic system of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think people need to like, because Star Wars is almost more fantasy than
It is. Yeah, it's
like sci-fi.
They're space
fiction.
wizards.
Yeah.
Like, they're described in
100%.
canon as space wizards.
Yep, space wizards, space monks.
It is a really good example of how magic and high technology can exist together.
Yeah, I think a really good example of that is, I don't know, I think it's canonical now, but it's never really addressed, in that Han Solo was most likely Force sensitive, but not in a way or as a young kid the Jedi's never found him, right? Like the Jedi essentially use a computer, which is stupid, a Force sensitive computer. That Force sensitive computer goes like, hey, I found all these pinpoints of people that are Force sensitive. We should go get them and foster those abilities, right?
Yep.
It doesn't always work that way. So there's a ton of people that are Force sensitive, and even after the Jedi are gone, there are still people that are Force sensitive, but nobody's learning how to control and focus those powers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
My
they're
favorite
closer to
example of
sorcerers, but-
my favorite example of that in lore is in what's the really good movie that has
Andor? Or the movie? The Solo movie?
no, it's the one where they show the group of people who go to get the plans for the Death Star prior to episode
Oh,
4.
Rogue One.
Yeah,
Rogue One, yeah. Rogue One, there's a guy in there who is Force sensitive, wearing a bunch of like cast off red painted, it's not Mandalorian armor. But yeah, like he is just doing the best he can with what he's got. Like you get the sense that he, like, if the Jedi were around at that point, that he would be picked up and trained by a Jedi, but he's just not. He is just Force sensitive, and it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is there were, when the Jedi would go do that, there are a lot of people in the universe that the Jedi would go to and be like, no, we're not going to train you. And like those people are still Force sensitive. They just never get to learn how to use their powers, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. There's also
It's like
a bunch
either
of
they're too old or maybe not strong enough in the Force, or a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
There's a whole planet full of green-skinned aliens that are all like born Force sensitive, so it's just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I dig.
There's-
I really
there-
dig the Force as a magic system. Like they did a really
Yeah.
good job doing that. But I mean, they've also had 30 or 40 years to develop it. So like,
Yeah. And
Now
a
they
lot
need to
of
develop-
different writers iterating on the ideas as well. So
now they just need to develop like a Force druid. Then I'll be totally on board.
druids are the best.
Jedi are like just sorcerers. So if someone would be injected with midichlorians, they would be wizards. That midichlorian thing was really kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they only ever mention it in the first prequel movie, Episode 1.
There's a few times. I think they mention it in like The Mandalorian too, because like they're looking for creatures with high midichlorian counts, which, yeah, it's not really readily explained.
Yeah. I think they go into it a lot more in the novels. I haven't read a lot of them. In middle school, like my best friend read a ton of them, so I kind of like gleaned some information through osmosis for conversations with him. But as I understand it, like Palpatine was always trying to find a way to either create a clone of himself that would be Force sensitive, or find ways to do just that, like inject people with midichlorians and get them to take, because like you couldn't actually just do that. Midichlorians had to apparently find a host naturally.
Yeah.
Um,
My understanding of it was that people that are force sensitive just have more midichlorians, but that's like if you cloned yourself, you wouldn't have the same amount, right? Like, so just because you're force sensitive here, this one might not be as force sensitive. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I think it's more
it's
of
really
an
weird.
effect than the cause of, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it is really weird. Sometimes the midichlorian thing is portrayed as the cause of, and sometimes it's portrayed as a marker of force sensitivity. It's that part, unfortunately, as I understand it, has been inconsistent in application. So I have no idea what specifically it is, but apparently there are no proper wizards in D&D terms in this universe. Everything is sorcery.
Yeah, like in the new Ahsoka show, which I like. It's really good. One of the characters is like trained to be a Jedi, but can't do it, isn't good at it. And I think they might talk a little bit about like the fact that she was too old when she started training, but also informs that maybe anybody could train to be a Jedi. And it's just kind of, if you're really adept at a young age, it's easier to foster it. But I don't know.
Which is one of the reasons why Jedi were child snatchers.
Yeah. Yep. If you let them get too old, they learn how to like things and people, and then they start murdering people.
Yeah, see my previous comment about how the Jedi and the Sith are
They're the same.
both.
They are
the worst Force users in the universe. Morally speaking.
I do love how it was always. I always thought it was kind of a joke whenever I think it was always Obi-Wan would say like, "Only Sith deal with absolutes." I was like, "So did the Jedi."
Yeah. Bitch, Yoda only talks in absolutes, and his favorite absolute is emotion bad. Don't do it.
It's mostly because I would imagine the whole Yoda race is probably emotionally stunted.
So I think the whole thing about that, maybe it was just an oversight, but if it was purposefully written that way, like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's two ideologies just clashing heads, right? That's what the Sith Jedi War was. And then
that's what
the Jedi won, and like that's the thing, is the Jedi won, and so they claimed moral righteousness, and then the new movies have basically been like, it's bullshit. Jedi suck, like, and that's great, and that's good.
Yeah.
So,
because that's always like one of the reasons why like Qui-Gon Jinn always butted heads with the Council, was like he was much more like described as like a gray Jedi, like someone who is like tries to balance out the Force, and they're like, no, you must stick to the light side purely.
Which is I think is one of the reasons why he was actually able to perceive Maul, or Maul showed up.
yep.
Because everybody else in the temple could not see anything from the dark side. Anyway.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very
I'm
cool.
about done here, though. I took your space, sorry, but...
No, it's fine.
Good. We drew a lot of stuff today. That was good.
Yeah.
Good suggestions today. I'm glad we got to draw some things from people in the chat. That's always fun. I like giving people the option to put stuff on Monday, though, so I'm gonna keep doing that. But otherwise, I'll keep working on the game today, so I'll probably be in the Discord chat this afternoon, fiddling with some stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna get any more art done today. It might just be more code. It is the last day of January, so I'm gonna go post a Patreon member update, and I'll be sending out some stickers today. If any of you would like to become Patreon members, go check that out. There should be a link down below. And that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for all the awesome suggestions. Druid, Corvus, thanks for hanging out with me today in chat.
Mm.
Thanks for drawing with me, and we'll catch you next week. Bye, everybody.